So let's talk about TDK. TDK was made famous in the 1970s with the introduction of their super dynamic tapes. As I mentioned in a previous video, these tapes really made your recorder really pop and sound great. And I remember that because when I was a kid, my father went to Japan and brought one of those tapes home, and we put it on his Sony machine, and we all thought it sounded amazing, the recordings it would make. So it's my own personal experience. Like a lot of Japanese tapes, they started producing standard tapes. I have one here. It used to be called TDKE Synchro 150. Again, the 150 nomenclature. There's nothing special about these old tapes. If you see them, they're not really worth seeking out or spending money for. Later on, they brought out their low noise tapes. This is called the S series. It's also called other names, the 555. It's a red oxide tape, fairly decent tape, but nothing really special in terms of performance. Things didn't really get going for them until they brought out the super dynamic tape. This is a fantastic tape that really made them where they were. Later on, those were improved and called the Ottawa. Those Ottawa tapes sometimes are also found in these plain silver boxes. And they were also famous, like a lot of Japanese tapes, to sell their tapes on large hubs, 1,200-foot tapes on a large hub. Some people preferred that due to the lower torque on startup. The Audio was also available with a back-coated version. It was the same formula as the standard Ottawa, just had back coating. These tapes are also good. They don't suffer from any detrimental effects. In the 1980s, they brought out a revised range of tapes. The Ottawa became the LX, and the back-treated tapes became LXB. And they brought out their own Type 4 tape called the GX, which was designed to compete with Maxell's XL1 and other high-quality tapes like Sony's ULH. Unfortunately, the GX, none of these really are usable today. They all suffer from a combination of sticky shed and white powder syndrome and cannot be used. It's unfortunate because it was an excellent tape during its day. They also produced the SA, which is the similar nomenclature to their cassettes of the same type, which is the high bias cassette. This is a extra efficiency tape designed for machines that require them. They also private labeled in Japan for National, so there's a lot of National tapes that are used, National Panasonic. Those were all TDK tapes. The ones that I would really look to use are the Ottawas and Super Dynamics. Really, the Ottawas are probably the best ones that they made. I would say their quality isn't quite as high as Maxell, certainly from the longevity side. Not quite as good as Maxell, but many of their tapes are useful and are good today.